Welcome back for another video. As the Thursday deadline for Gameweek18 nears, in this video we're going to look at how the team's set to line up and the transfer plans this week. Let's kick things off with a quick look back at how last game week went. 71 points all out, or a 63 after factoring in the -8 here, which was still enough for a green arrow to 142k overall. Whatever the outcome of the Bournemouth vs Luton game, the points are still the same in my case, with Gordon's 6-pointer on the bench. The extra hit for Alvarez to bench Gordon proved costly. The Argentine did have a big chance of a header, which was met with a good Henderson save. Despite the Alvarez blank, the -8 hit still had a net gain of +7 points, so the hits at least were still instantly repaid. The gut feeling says there's a chance that Haaland could miss more matches than Pep's letting on, so plenty of time for Alvarez to come good, and he's certainly a hold for me. He also provides the option to bench one of Gordon or Solanke when they hit a couple of tougher games in the near future. Porro and Solanke, the other two transfers that came in for the -8, Porro with a clean sheet and an 8-pointer, which was his biggest score of the season so far, and Solanke netting against Luton. If they ultimately null avoid that fixture, I imagine they might actually be better off, because I imagine not everyone's going to have the likes of Gordon coming off their bench. It was clean sheets across the board at the back in 4 different fixtures. Refreshing to see some clean sheets in our teams, they felt like a rarity recently. Even after moving Archer to Alvarez on the deadline stream, there's still another 5.7 mil in the bank. So a major decision for us Haaland sellers is whether to commit to going without him till the new year and buy a premium defender now, or keep the money on hand for when it's needed. Let's get into how the team's lined up for Gameweek18 and the transfer plans. In goal, Dubravka's away to Luton off the back of his first clean sheet from his 3 stars last game week. We've seen time and again this season that Kenilworth Road is an intimidating place to play, and their very physical, set-piece oriented offence can cause a lot of problems. Newcastle are third on the clean sheet odds this week with a 37.5% chance. The back 3 is Pedro Porro, Saliba and Tsimikas. The intention is to make a defender transfer this week, which will afford the opportunity to bench Saliba or maybe Tsimikas, who are against one another. Absolutely huge game this one in the title race, first v second. Arsenal are comfortably top in the league for expected goals conceded this season, so Saliba's feeling like a seasoned keeper, and there is actually a temptation to start him over Tsimikas. After Liverpool, Arsenal hit a good run of games as well, with West Ham, Fulham, Crystal Palace and then Forest to come after Gameweek18. Spurs have been given a 29% chance of a clean sheet for their home fixture to Everton. In honesty, Tottenham's defence is a bit concerning. They're 16th this season for expected goals conceded, but in Porro's case, he more than makes up for it with his attacking threat. Among all defenders, he's second for expected goal involvement with 5.21 XGI, Trippier slightly ahead with 5.62. However, we've got 1.4 mil separating the two, so he's great value. He's taken 28 shots this season, which is top among all defenders as well. Trent is second with 24. Not an ideal fixture for Tsimikas, home to Arsenal. All in all, despite benching him for the 15-pointer, he's been a good purchase all in all. Picked him up at 4.5 mil and he's risen 4 times. It's looking like we'll get a chunk of games out of him still, with Robertson likely returning in January. The midfield is Palmer, Saka, Salah, Son and Gordon. Since Palmer made his full debut in Game Week 7, he's got 6 goals and 4 assists for Chelsea, the exact same number of goals and assists that Haaland's got over that run. Albeit Palmer has played more minutes given Haaland missed the last match, but as a midfielder and also in a worse side, that's crazy impressive. His 6.8 points per start can only be beaten by Watkins and Salah over that run, an absolute gift at 5.6 mil. What a signing Chelsea got in their hands here. Chelsea are away to Wolves this game week, Wolves who were defeated 3-0 by West Ham last match. Saka's 5th among all players for expected goal involvement this season with 11.04 XGI. The 4 names above him are Jackson and Bumo, Salah and Haaland. Will he be able to expose Tsimikas as a potential weakness on Liverpool's left flank? Last season this fixture ended 2-2 at Anfield, and the season before that Liverpool won 4-0. Ben White's been nursing an injury recently, which is a concern. With Tomiyasu injured, he has to play, and he might not be able to give Saka all the support and the overlapping runs that he needs to create space. Salah's blank against Man United was his first home blank of the season, so given his home consistency, it's a perfectly good shout for captaincy. I was wondering whether he'll have AFCON at the back of his head as it nears. His last match is against Newcastle, who are an extremely physical side. Will he be playing at less than 100% just to make sure he doesn't pick up an injury last minute before a major tournament? It could be a route back to Haaland early by selling Salah that game week as part of 2 moves, when Haaland's got Sheffield United home. Son's got the vice captaincy this week. A drop in price for him followed by a 17-point haul, and then a rise in price followed by a 2-pointer. Just FPL things. We've got Everton, Brighton and Bournemouth from Sonny before he's off to the Asian Cup. It's hard to predict how this one's going to go given what an attacking side Spurs are, but on the other hand it's been over 6 hours of football since Everton last conceded in the league. We'll be keeping an eye on the League Cup lineups. Newcastle, Chelsea and Liverpool all playing before Gameweek18, which I've got players from. Gordon really needs a rest at some point, and it'd be ideal if it came in the League Cup before two decent fixtures to Luton and then Forest. Having picked him up at just 5.6 mil, it's going to be a tougher decision to sell him when the time looks right, as a lot of profits tied up there. Barnes has suffered a setback though, who was his competition in left wing, and in Newcastle's Carabao Cup presser, Howe said he's hopefully coming back within 4 to 5 weeks, which will take us into mid-January, so probably Gameweek 21 at the absolute earliest. Onto the front two, which is Solanke and Watkins. If they do decide to replay the Luton match and subsequently null and void all the points, then it's very unfortunate for those who picked up Dom, myself included, for a -4 hit. As far as Opta data, it's a match they have considered never to have happened, so it gets a bit tricky when you're looking at data over Gameweek ranges, as it's considered a blank Gameweek by Opta. If you're a Scout member and you use the data tables, you can filter on last 4 matches rather than last 4 game weeks. The difference there is filtering matches only looks at games they actually played in. So over the last 4 matches, Solanke's 3.18 expected goal involvement ranks 3rd best in the league. So in his case, that's Gameweek 13, 14, 15 and 16. Watkins gets the captaincy this week. Given his goal last game week, Son's blank, it's all but sealed it. Aston Villa have an opportunity to go top of the Premier League table on Friday night with a win, and they're playing against bottom of the league Sheffield United. Sheffield United have conceded 203 shots in the box this season and 43 goals, both of which rank worst in the league. If you don't have Watkins, you definitely need to prioritise getting him for this one. Just before the new year, he's got another great fixture home to Burnley as well. Onto the bench, which is Turner, Maguire, Alvarez and Pinnock. A very light bench this week, with Alvarez and Pinnock both blanking and Maguire injured. 5.7 mil in the bank though, so there's a lot of potential to upgrade the bench. In terms of transfers, it makes a little bit more sense to upgrade Maguire over Pinnock despite the blank, as Pinnock does have some good fixtures after the blank where he could come in handy, and he does have that postponement versus Man City which could get announced as a double game week soon. Game week 21, 24 or 25, all possibilities. So the question is who to sell Maguire for? Maguire needs a shout out before he leaves the team, by the way. He's been an unsung hero for me. Picked him up for 4.2 mil and used him 4 times in total, where he kept 3 clean sheets in the team. Can't ask for more than that. In terms of replacements, a Villa defender makes a lot of sense with Sheffield United and Burnley home in the next 3, and it also keeps money banked for a route back to Haaland. However, there is a clear massive upside by getting one of Trent or Trippier. Trent's 8.2 mil, Trippier's 6.9 mil. There's really not much between them. Trippier's got the better immediate fixtures, whereas with Trent, you're buying before he faces Arsenal, which isn't an ideal entry point. So the current plan is to go for a premium defender, and I'm leaning towards Trippier between the two. Looking much further afield, whoever reaches the League Cup final is going to blank in Gameweek 26, so the results this midweek could be a factor in which way to go. If Newcastle are knocked out, then there's serious potential for Trippier to be a season keeper, given no League Cup and no Champions League. The feeling with Trent is that even if he doesn't blank, at 8.2 mil he's likely to have to lead the team again at some point. So Maguire to Trippier is the plan, and one to be locked in much closer to the deadline on Thursday. Thanks very much for watching. There's a post up on the community tab on my channel taking your Gameweek 18 questions and dilemmas. Make sure you get yours in. See you soon for the next one.